Well, welcome. This is Zangler, the Tesla semi advocate, and I decided to do a late afternoon flight so that I could catch the sun going down and maybe see what's on the inside. Since a pretty face is one thing, but what really counts is what's on the inside. So now we're going to fly around the northeast corner where the megachargers are. If you've been following along, looks to me like they're beginning some activity on the on that second pad. I wouldn't be surprised in a few weeks or in a short period of time they start bringing in utility boxes and 2 more megacharger cabinets to feed the 4 additional megachargers that aren't currently hooked up, 3 of which aren't even present. So we do a nice little flyover, and here's what I mean is that looks to me like they're starting to uncover those holes where they put all the conduit underneath that they need, which we saw if you've been following along. So now we're going to take a little look. This pad looks to me like it's going to contain some kind of liquid tanks, because it looks like those berms are made for containing any spills. What do you think? What do you think those 2 new pads might be for? Trying to stimulate some engagement. I was going to say, and I don't know when's an opportune time to point it out, but I will probably repeat it. But there are very few piles of stuff, POSs, much fewer piles of stuff. I believe that is an indication that we're getting ever closer to ramping production and at least firing up portions of the line and seeing and getting closer and closer to production. What's interesting is people always ask when I think the production will start, and generally speaking, it shows they haven't even watched the video, because I usually say in that very same video that my somewhat educated but swag is somewhere near the end of the first half of 2026, not in Q1, which would be January, February, March. I don't believe production will start in March. I think that, though, starting in April, May, we might start seeing some evidence of getting very close, and then by June, we'll start seeing some newly produced Atlas semis coming out of this factory that was a flat area of dirt 2 years ago. So like anything, when something transitions somewhat slow, we often don't take a moment to think about how far this factory project has come. There's a POS, and by the way, that's a POS in a new spot, kind of in a new spot. That's on the southeast corner. And when we're going to zoom around and take a look at Gigafactory 1 and pay respect to all of the good work that's being done up there towards the original goal of speeding the transition to I'm messing it up totally, to sustainable transport, accelerating the mission. Anyway, you know what I mean. Now it's abundant semis, or abundant whatever, you fill in the blank. So you can see back there's the big dog Tesla semi still sitting there, and it's about 5:30, I would say, right about now. But here's something I really want to focus on. This is the area that had hundreds, over 100 for sure, blue and orange boxes, crates, similar to those blue crates, but much bigger. And almost all of them are inside that factory, being assembled into a high volume Tesla semi factory. Now we're going to work our way down the southern perimeter to the main entrance. You notice they haven't really paved that main entrance area. I think they're going to do something clever and fun there. But here we go. Even though it's not dark yet, it's illuminated in the stamping section G, at least the elevated half of section G, and only half of the BFD is open, but we're going to take a little look. Since there's no workers outside, I believe it's more than safe to do so. Telehandler, still you see that empty spot with the guardrails around it. That is where the one more stamping press that I believe is coming will go. And early on, I predicted that would be the stamping press for the frames. And frames are in fact stamped. That is the sheet metal stamping press conglomerate facility. It's a series of stamping presses that we saw delivered. I, of course, encourage you to go back and look at every single one of my videos. Matter of fact, you should keep them on in the background as you do chores and turn the sound down. Help a brother out. Anyway, mostly kidding there. If you watch the video, if you watch all the way through the video, that in itself helps the channel. Now that is the Griffin, not bridge crane. That's the Griffin piece of equipment that is used to unload stamping presses. And here's another opportunity to take a little look inside. I'm not pushing my luck here. Otherwise, we don't want to. This is David not versus Goliath, but we don't want to yank on anyone's chain. So now we're coming around the southwest corner of the building, endeavoring to complete our circumnavigation without chasing squirrels. And again, longtime viewers know exactly what I mean. Well, this BFD is closed, and so is that fairly BFD. I don't think it's as big as that one on the right that we see is closed, but one semi-drive. You notice there's not as many POSs around the building. So we're approaching the end of this video, and here's a really good look into one of those BFDs. Here's my, if you've stuck with me this long, I'm going to go ahead and confess that there I made an ID10T loose screw behind the wheel error. And the error is that I videoed all the way down the western perimeter of the building, looking into looking inside and seeing a lot of fascinating stuff. I saw a group of employees gathering before the shift to do their pep talk, came all the way down the north end and was not recording. So I will do it again. But this is on the northeast side, and it looks like some serious stuff going on in there. And I just can't believe what you're missing, what I saw that I'm unable to share with you. anyways, there we go. Thanks for joining, and there's a couple more minutes of footage, and I'll leave you to that.